This is a basic skill review of the 4 kinds of edits that Final Cut Pro does: append, connect, overwrite, and insert, as well as how to blade something and how to delete something. The simplest edit that I could do in Final Cut, aside from dragging material with the mouse, would be an append edit. So let's say I choose some material. I'll set a range with a I for in and an O for out. Come to the Edit menu and select Append. Notice what it does. It just takes the shot and puts it at the end of the timeline. I'll select another shot, set an in and an out. This time I'll do it with a shortcut key, which is E. Okay, so I'll hit the E key, and again it puts it at the end of the timeline. That's all the append edit does. That's why it's called append. It just appends the shot to the end of your timeline. That's nice when you're starting out if you want to build up an edit very quickly, but it really doesn't allow you to have fine control. I'm going to undo those 2 edits. A more precise edit would be an insert or an overwrite. Let's look at this material for a moment.
More than a collection of horrible symptoms.
Can you touch that again?
Alright, let's say between these 2 shots I want to put an establishing, a wider shot of what they're doing here with this plant. Okay, so I'm going to go into my library and I'll find that shot. Looks like I've already got an in and an out set. Okay, I've got my playhead positioned. I'll zoom in to make sure I'm using the up arrow to scroll between edit points until I get to the one between these 2 shots. If I park my playhead here, that will serve as an in point. I don't actually have to set an in point if I don't want to. So this is what we call a 3-point edit. I've got an in and an out there, that's 2 points, and I've got an in here, that's my 3rd point. Go to the edit menu. I'm going to do an insert. Now watch what happens. You see how it moved the material over to make space for the new material, and then it put the new material in. Overall, it increases your running time.
Symptoms.
Can you touch that again?
Okay. I'm going to undo that. I'm going to show you another way to do the same edit, but this time with an overwrite. Now watch the difference. This time it did not move the material over. It simply steamrolled over the old material with the new material, and it left the running time the same. Just to visualize the difference between an insert and an overwrite edit, let's say they were Legos. You got 2 4-second shots for a total of 8. You're going to put an additional 2-second shot in the middle. If this was an insert edit, it would increase your running time to 10 seconds. But if it were an overwrite edit, again, the new material just steamrolls over or overwrites the material that's there. It does not change the duration. A 4th kind of edit that's really useful is a connected edit. Instead of putting material in the primary storyline, a connected edit will put it above or below depending on whether it's video or audio. Okay, let's take a look at the beginning of this piece.
Kate is 8 years old now, and we've never exchanged a word.
Okay, if I want to put some music at the front of this piece, I'll search out my music clip. Looks like it's got an in and an out point already set. That's fine. I'm going to drag my playhead to the first frame and let that serve as my in point. And then I'm going to scroll down so you can see this. If I go to the Edit menu and select Connect to Primary Storyline, keyboard shortcut is Q, you'll notice that it places this long piece of music underneath the primary storyline, and it's connected. It's a connected clip, and this little line here, this long stick, is the connection point. A word of warning about connected clips: when you delete the clip they're connected to, that is to say the clip that's in the primary storyline, watch what happens. You end up deleting everything connected to it as well. I'm going to undo that. If I wanted to get rid of this piece of black but keep my music, you can actually change and move the connection point. You can do that by Command Option clicking a different part of the connected clip. And as you can see, the connection point jumps to wherever you click. Okay, so now I could get rid of this, and my music would still be there because it is connected via this long stick to a different clip. Okay, I'm going to undo that. And I'll put the connection point back to the first frame. All right, let's say now I want to put some graphics at the beginning. I'm going to find my graphics. I'll position my playhead somewhere over the black. Looks like I've got an in and out point set. I'll do a connected edit. Okay, and because it's video, it defaults to placing it above the primary storyline, again with this little connection point. And I'll go here. I've got an in and an out. I like where my playhead is for another in. And I'll do another connected edit. You can also drag material that might be in the primary storyline, and you can make it a connected clip. In this case, I think I'll drag a copy. I'll option drag a copy of this black, and I'll place it up above as a connected clip. Now watch what happens. You see how the other material jumps up? You can layer this. You can layer it like stair steps, and you can switch the order around as much as you want. Just keep in mind, the only thing that's going to be visible is the thing on the top. In this case, the black is covering up the logos. If I were to move the black down, you would see the logo covering the black. But I don't want them to be overlapping each other, so I'm going to go ahead and change the duration. I'll make this maybe about 1.5 seconds. And then I'll move these over to fit next to each other. What if I want to place some dissolves between these clips? When you put a cross dissolve between a connected clip, look what happens. It takes the two clips that are being dissolved together and it places them in this box. This box is called a secondary storyline, and it allows you to move the clips around as one unit. Notice they only have one connection point. Each clip no longer has its own. You can drag material and you can put it into a secondary. See how it opens up and lets me drop that material in, and then again you can move them around as a single unit with only one connection point. I'll put another cross dissolve in. Maybe I'll make that one a little longer, and I'll cross dissolve out at the end. So let's play this and see what we have.
Katie's 8 years old now, and we've never exchanged a word.
I got you.
Great. So you can see how fast and powerful connected edits are, especially when it comes to adding music and graphics and the kind of things that you might not want to put in the primary storyline. The last thing I want to show you is how to do a blade and a delete. Let's take a look at this shot.
As a parent, thoughts run through your head. What is it like to be Kate? To wake up every day and not be able to communicate? What is her favorite color? Is she quiet or chatty?
All right, let's say I want to cut it after what's her favorite color. I want to get rid of the part, is she quiet or chatty, okay? You could trim that away. You could trim this and then trim the audio, but another way to do it would be to use blade.
What is her favorite color?
Okay, I'm going to pause there. And where my playhead is, if I select blade, which is Command B, look what happens. It adds an edit in the primary storyline. Now, if I want it to happen somewhere else, all I have to do is click where I want it to happen. So I'll click this clip, I'll hit blade, and it will add the edit there. If you want to do them together, I'll undo. You can actually select blade all, Shift Command B. Okay, and it'll do both at once, but be careful. You may have material underneath, such as my sound effects and my music, and I just bladed them all, and I probably didn't want to do that, so I'm going to undo that. You can multiple select. Okay, I can select this clip, then Command click to multiple select both of those, and I can do a straight blade, and it will do both of them since they were both selected. Okay, the second part of this is the delete. If I drag over these two clips to select them, I can just hit the delete key. Now keep in mind there's two delete keys on your keyboard. One of them is on that little keypad between the two bigger keypads. That delete is technically not a delete. It's what we call lift, or I believe in the edit menu it's called replace with gap. Okay, see how they both have a delete icon, but they're pointing different directions? That's supposed to tell you there's two different keys. So if I hit that key, you see it deletes it, but it leaves this gap. And most of the time you're probably not going to want to do that. So I'm going to undo, and I'm going to hit the delete key that's part of the larger keypad on the keyboard. Okay, that's the delete you want, and it's the delete that brings all the other material sliding over in the magnetic timeline to fill up the space.